A common trend in today's world is the fact that people are constantly looking for ways to earn passive income. It's gotten to the point where people are now quitting their 9-to-5 jobs based on real estate investments alone. This leads me to Airbnb. It's been a goldmine for property owners looking to start earning passive income. You probably heard about Airbnb from your family, friends who like to travel, but if you want to be one of those property owners making money off of the millions of daily guests on Airbnb, then keep watching. Because in this video, I'll tell you exactly 10 things you need to know before becoming a host on Airbnb. And if you stay until the end, I'll tell you my most important strategy on reaching superhost status after you get started on Airbnb. But if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay notified every time we drop a new video. First, let me give you a brief summary on Airbnb. Founded in 2007, the idea behind Airbnb is simple. Find a way for local people to make some extra cash, renting out their spare home or room to people visiting the area. Hosts using this platform can advertise their rentals to thousands, maybe millions of people worldwide, with a reassurance that a big company will handle payments and offer support when needed. For guests, Airbnb can offer a comfortable place to stay that is more suited to your taste, often at a lower price than what hotels charge. Simply put, Airbnb is an online marketplace that connects people who want to rent out their homes with people who are looking for accommodations in specific areas. Before starting your new Airbnb business, take note of each and every one of these important factors. Number 1. Time commitment. While Airbnb hosting is usually said to be less time-consuming, listing and running a successful Airbnb could still eat up a lot of your time and effort, especially in the beginning. Even when you've got the procedures down and aren't spending so much time with the bookings, you still need to be on standby in case of emergencies. Obviously, you could hire a third-party host, but that'd just eat up the potential income, especially when you're just starting out. Would you really be able to sacrifice your time and have a flexible schedule to keep the business thriving? That's only a question that you can answer. Number 2, know your city regulations. Before hosting on Airbnb or accommodating guests, you need to be sure that you are legally allowed to do so. While Airbnb is legal and thriving in certain cities, some others have set laws to prohibit it. Different laws for different cities, be sure to know yours. In the United States, cities like New York and Santa Monica have laws that prohibit Class A listings for fewer than 30 days when the host is not in the property. A lot of it has to do with the residents voicing their concerns over rising rents, and a majority voted in favor to limit listings in their area. The city would now require owners to live in the listed property if they plan to rent it. Keep watching until the end because I'm going to tell you the single most important factor that has helped many successful hosts on Airbnb. Number 3, landlord consent. This might sound obvious, but if you don't own the property, you cannot rent the property on Airbnb without permission from your landlord. This means that you must have a strong relationship and communication with him or her while approaching them carefully about your intention to host on Airbnb. Now, obviously, I'm sure there are people who host all the time without the landlord's permission. I strongly argue against that. Experts and enthusiasts will tell you that nothing kills a good Airbnb deal faster than an angry landlord. Number 4, strangers as guests. While hosting on Airbnb, remember that you have no real information about the people you're hosting, apart from the basic information provided on the website to you. You have a chance of hosting the most well-behaved guests, as well as guests that can threaten your physical safety and even mental health. Basically, you're going to be hosting total strangers. How comfortable is that for you? Can you comfortably coexist and reliably communicate with complete strangers? If the thought of that makes you feel uneasy, then you need to think twice before hosting on Airbnb. If having strangers is not an option for you, your go-to option might be to find and acquire a dedicated rental unit for hosting. Number 5, goals and expectations. While some people occasionally host on Airbnb for the extra income, others do it more consistently as a means of reliable secondary income. Another group of people use this opportunity to try building a rental empire for themselves. Depending on your goals, expected income, your capital, time invested, and risks involved would be quite different. You must also think about what you need to do to reach your income goal. How often do you need to rent the space out? Is your occupancy goal realistic in terms of the market and your ability to manage turnover? Let that sink in before you get started. Number 6, building authority. You need to know that your space is just one out of hundreds available for rent in that area. Ask yourself what exactly makes your unit stand out. Why should a potential guest come across hundreds of properties and pick yours? You'll need an enticing offer that positions your unit favorably among competition. This could include everything from the photos and descriptions on what you choose to highlight to how you go about pricing the unit. Getting the right ranking and authority could take constant adjustments as your market and competition changes. Are you willing to spend your time, money, and energy to keep up with these adjustments and make your unit stand out? Number 7. Neighbor relations. Whether you own the listed property or not, you are bound to have neighbors living around you. What are those neighbors like, and how would they react to you hosting an Airbnb? Reactions usually vary greatly by city and neighborhood. As I've said earlier, some cities have laws that render Airbnb hosting illegal. While it's legal in some cities, you might have angry neighbors and general residents that keep petitioning for it to be banned, especially since Airbnb usually makes rental prices go higher. Also, most neighbors aren't going to be okay with the idea of different strangers coming to their neighborhood and being around their children or pets. How would you react to angry neighbors and residents? Number 8. First-hand information on market trends. As an Airbnb host, you need to be open to change and to constantly adapt your listing to changing market conditions, guest tastes, seasons, or even local laws. To do this, you have to be active in researching information. You must go along with all the trending things that might turn on the style for your guests. Different seasons bring different winds, and with them different kinds of travelers. How ready are you to adapt these conditions? Also, how adaptable is your space to these market conditions? Can it be changed multiple times in the long term to suit market conditions, yet still maintain its aesthetics? Number 9. Be transparent as an Airbnb host. The last thing you want to do is keep secrets from your guest. You must not overpromise or underdeliver. If you are going to be on site during your guest stay, say so in advance. If there's something rather unusual about your home or space, be upfront about it in the listing. Most people are willing to overlook issues and know that staying in a home is not the same as staying in a hotel. But if they feel that you've tried to pull a fast one on them, their reviews are going to show their dissatisfaction. To be a successful Airbnb host, one thing you should care about most of all is guest reviews and overall satisfaction. Number 10. Optimal pricing. This is not just about setting your weekday and weekend rates and then never revisiting the prices. Of course, it's your space to rent out and you can ideally put any price you want on it. However, you need to monitor and constantly compare it with competitive rates and special events in order to get your pricing optimized for profits. While you don't want to hike your prices to what guests would walk away from, you also don't want to stay behind the optimal price curve. You must be ready to constantly monitor these rates if you want to be a host on Airbnb. Airbnb has come a long way since its co-founders first came up with the idea of inviting paying guests to sleep on an air mattress in their living room. According to Airbnb's latest data, it has more than 6 million listings, covering more than 100,000 cities and towns and 220 plus countries worldwide. This makes the company a no-brainer when it comes to making money off of short-term rentals. Airbnb, as straightforward as it seems, takes some work to get it right. Before making a choice on whether to host, make sure to do proper research on top of what you learned from this video. If after watching this video, you still have your mind made up on renting your property on Airbnb, I strongly suggest you watch this next video where I'll tell you exactly what the steps are for you to take and get started with the website. Click the video on the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.